Well, in some international breaking news, the United Kingdom has revised COVID rules. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said, and I quote, "Today we are lifting the remaining testing requirements for fully vaccinated travellers entering the UK. Britain is now open for business." Thank you to the millions of people who have come forward for their jabs and made this step possible. This is from UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, wherein some big changes. Testing requirements have been lifted and Britain has now said that they're open to business. Let me go across to my colleague Ketan, who's joining me live on the broadcast. Ketan, testing requirements have been lifted. Britain is now open for business. This will naturally lead to a spur of international travellers in the UK. What is the significance of this revision, and that too coming in from a world power like UK? What is the precedence it sets?
Well, we have to address this issue through two contours. One is, of course, the internal backlash, and we'll come to that later, internal backlash that Boris Johnson had from his own people about the number of parties that happened on 10 Downing Street, and then the committee that was instituted and its findings and so on and so forth. Talking about this specific order, so it's tweeted and it's now official, and I'm just reading out from, to make things more specific, is that from 4 a.m. on 11th February, all testing requirements are removed for eligible fully vaccinated arrivals, and only a simplified passenger locator form is needed ahead of half-term. Arrivals who do not qualify as fully vaccinated will only need to take a pre-departure test and a PCR test on or before day 2 after they arrive in the UK. Changes come as children aged 12 to 15 in England can now prove their vaccination status or proof of prior infection for outbound travel with the digital NHS COVID pass, which means that Britain is officially now open for business. And this is also on the lines of what US President Biden said, that the worst of COVID-19 is behind us. In India, there are deliberations going on as to whether one can restrict restrictions, whether one can restrict restrictions related to wearing masks and other things. So clearly the world is now opening up. This by no means means that people have to not exercise caution, appropriate caution, or not indulge in COVID appropriate behavior. However, this clearly means that UK is open for business and the world is slowly opening up.
That's right, Ketan. In fact, also you were talking about the internal conflict and, what does that imply, the bearing that this order has on that internal conflict. For the benefit of our viewers, can you also take us through that aspect of the story?
So, Charlene, there may or may not be a direct correlation. However, it is a given fact that Boris Johnson was facing intense criticism from internal audiences about the parties that were going on 10 Downing Streets and in and around Britain. And so there was a Sue Gray committee, and the committee report, the findings were also heavily curtailed, and there were allegations that he also lied to Parliament about all these parties. So clearly there was an internal political backlash that Boris Johnson was facing, and but whether this backlash forced to take this decision, because I'm sure that this decision is based on empirical evidence, this decision is based on scientific findings and not just the politics of it. Clearly, Britain opening up will be in benefit for everyone.
That's right, Ketan. Clearly, Britain opening up will be in benefit for everyone. A world power like this also has a precedence. This order has a bearing over countries across the globe. We'll see what this, what this leads to and what the outcome will be. For now, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us with all those inputs.